This road trip continues from our nation's capital. It's the series opener tonight between the Dodgers and the Washington Nationals. The first place team out of the East as the Dodgers try to track down the Giants in the West. And we say welcome inside with Oral and Nomar. I'm Joe Davis. Solana Rizzo joins us in just a bit. So the Dodgers dropped 2 of 3 against Arizona to begin this trip. And now the competition goes up a notch. They face one of the best teams in baseball starting tonight.
Yeah, Washington Nationals, 19 games over 500. We're 10 over. We had a chance for a hot start coming out of Arizona. That did not happen. Now we get into the big picture and the tougher part of this road trip.
You got an offense that's been inconsistent, and they will now face one of the top pitching staffs in baseball.
Well, you got an offense where the veterans are really starting to step it up, though. When you got Justin Turner showing off the power, Adrian Gonzalez is swinging the bat so much better, especially when he had those couple of days off over in Pittsburgh. Howie Kendrick's been on fire since after the month of April, starting in May, so he's really that 290 here that we're used to seeing. And then you're going to get Jock Peterson back off the DL. He's going to be out there in center field, but they're going to really need to bring their best because they're going against the best ERA in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they're going against a Major League debut for the Nationals tonight, Reynaldo Lopez, who touched 100 in the Futures game just last week. First pitch between the Dodgers and the Nationals on the other side of this break. And Nationals, the first of 3 this evening, with a temperature in the high 80s. It feels like temperature in the low 90s on a typically humid evening here in Washington, D.C. Your starting lineup brought to you by Honda. This is what Dave Roberts sends out there for this series opener. Chase Utley's back in there at the leadoff spot. The red-hot Howie Kendrick hits second. Justin Turner's hit more home runs than anybody in baseball over his last 29 games. Grandal, one of the best hitters in the month of July across the National League. Good to have Jock Peterson back in there after his minor league rehab. Puig starts in right. Taylor gets the start at short, and then it's Scott Kazmir doing the pitching. And it's Reynaldo Lopez, a 22-year-old, making his major league debut.
Well, Reynaldo Lopez really made it up through the minors. You see his season at AA to AAA. He's 6 foot, 185 from the Dominican Republic, and he brings a live arm. He averages about 95 miles an hour on that fastball and get it up to 100 miles an hour. Has a curveball, and he has a changeup as well. Even here in the Nationals, they haven't seen him pitching in the big league level, even at spring training. So it'll be quite interesting to see what he has today.
Little hitch in his giddy up there, and you watch his delivery. That front shoulder drops, and then he's got to give himself time to get the glove up so he gets that downward angle with an over-to-the-top delivery. The young man probably going to have some butterflies, so I think the Dodgers should make sure he's throwing strikes. Our closed captioning is brought to you by Shumash Casino Resort, where we are all about you.
So you've got a guy in Lopez making his first start. You saw Scott Kazmir, the veteran, makes his 290th career major league start.
Reynaldo Lopez, in the minor leagues, he averaged nearly 12 strikeouts per 9 innings.
To put that into major league perspective, the only major league starters that have that rate, Jose Fernandez down in Miami, and Lopez's 2 teammates, Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg. Chase Utley stands in, and away we go with ball 1. 94 on the first fastball from Lopez. Utley 1 for his last 14 following that 6-hit game against Baltimore. Back in the leadoff spot with the right-hander on the mound. 1-1. A 22-year-old who had a fastball in the high 80s when he signed as a 17-year-old. Gained about 10 miles per hour on it. Utley turns this one around in the air to deep right, sending Harper back at the wall, and it's gone. Chase Utley greets Lopez's big league career with a solo homer, and it's 1-0 Dodgers.
Well, you mentioned about having to look at him. Chase Utley did just that on the first 2 pitches. He waited till he got a strike. He took it, recognized the fastball that he's going to come with it, and he did not miss one on the inner half. You can see the glove by Lobaton looking for a way, comes in, and Chase makes him pay.
And Howie Kendrick stands in and takes a strike. So welcome to the majors, huh, Orel?
It's really hard. You're out there. You don't really have a feel yet for the baseball if the nerves are there, and they have to be for a 22-year-old. You really are a thrower until you finally calm down. You can spin the baseball from 97 to 100 miles an hour there to 78 with good sharp break. Started the year with Baseball America rating him just in the top 100 in the high 90s as far as prospects, but when they reevaluated halfway through the year, he dropped in the top 50.
They really like that arm of his, obviously, with that velocity difference going from that 99, 95 mile hour. Also, his changeup is around, hovers around 85 to 83 miles per hour.
Lobaton sets inside for a 1-2, and Kendrick swings and bounces one inside of the bag. A base hit into right. So Utley with a homer, Kendrick with a single to extend his hitting streak to 11 games.
And Howie Kendrick once again going the other way. Vintage Howie Kendrick. We talked about a little bit in the open about Howie Kendrick. At April, I always said that was his spring training. He was hurt during spring training. After April, early May, since early May, been a 293 hitter, which is what he's been his entire career. And once again, going the other way. Look at his spray charts, 28 hits the other way, 24 center with the 21 to left. And you'll see Howie, and I know he's not playing today, but Corey Seager as well. They don't really shift on him. Teams don't shift on him because they use all fields.
Justin Turner looks at a strike. So you've got Kendrick who's heated up. Kendrick #1 in the majors in average in the month of July. And in Turner's case, when you add in Sunday's performance where he knocked in 4 runs over the last 2 innings of that game, he now leads the majors in homers and in RBIs over his last 29 games. That's 29 runs batted in 29 games.
He's doing his share of the load. Dodger offense does need to turn it around. Nomar talked about it in the open. They had an explosion in Arizona in game 1 there, but after that they were pretty flat.
Lobaton wants it upstairs on 0-2. Turner swings and lines one towards the left field corner. That's a fair ball. And the Dodgers jumping all over Lopez. Homers, single, double. Kendrick stops at third on Turner's double.
He wanted it upstairs. He could get to a chase pitch here. I'm not sure he reaches the glove, but Justin does a great job keeping his hands above the baseball. The barrel's going to drop slightly. You got to keep your hands up there. And he didn't try and do too much with it, just stayed strong and threw it.
And already Mike Maddox out there to have a word with the 22-year-old.
Washington's defense, let's take a look at it. That sponsor is brought to you by Clamato. And Danny Espinoza over there played second for them in only 8 games at shortstop last year. Had to slip over there with Desmond going to Texas. So he has been outstanding at shortstop. Only made 7 errors this year. And you see the 2 defenses are the top 2 in the National League.
So second and third, nobody out. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. He takes ball 1. Seems like every guy that comes up, there's a superlative to mention. In the case of Gonzalez, it's that number you see there, the 393, since his back-to-back off days in Pittsburgh. And that number leads the National League during that stretch.
See this start to happen to a young pitcher. All of a sudden everything you throw up there is getting hit hard, and all of a sudden you think maybe I'm not good enough, and you start going for the edges, falling behind.
On 2-0, he misses down and away. 3 balls and no strikes on Gonzalez.
He'll come to learn as it even gets harder when you put hitters in hitters counts.
And early on, you're talking Chase Utley. Yeah, you hit a home run, but what's he got as far as does the ball move? No, it's hard, it's straight, or there's a slight movement, there's a slight tail. He's got a sharp breaking ball. So this information is coming even early in the first inning.
Gonzalez checks his swing and a strike that catches the corner. 97 that time, and it's full.
Adrian looking for something to pull this hole at bat. They've got 3 balls to start.
Brown trying to help Lopez, who's ready for a 3-2. And Gonzalez lines it right at Espinoza, who is positioned behind the bat.
Dodgers can't do anything more than that. Adrian Gonzalez with a great swing, and then the base runners. What a job by them by freezing on a line drive.
Well, especially at second base, Justin Turner going back, recognizing where the key was. He knew where Espinoza was playing even before he hit the ball, and that's the key. Knowing where the fielders are playing, your outfielders, your infielders. I mean, that was hit right on the money. Unlucky for Adrian Gonzalez, but great job freezing on that line drive.
So second and third with 1 gone for Grandal. Who's number 2 in the majors in OPS in the month of July. The only guy ahead of him, a guy I know that we're all glad to not see for a while, Jake Lamb in Arizona. Series he had against the Dodgers, helping Arizona win the final 2 games of that set. Lopez with an 0-1. And Grandal takes it outside. Even with the back-to-back losses, the Dodgers have won 11 of 17. Second best record in the National League during that stretch, trailing only these Nationals. 2-1.
Watch the pattern out there on the mound right now. The Dodger hitters are starting to pick up on the fact that he really can't throw fastball into left-handers for strikes yet. So they can just look middle away until he can establish that.
Two and two, 98 that time.
Even with Justin Turner, he tried to run the ball up and in on him, and he left it there on the inner half and up. But Justin could actually know, okay, the ball's tailing, it's probably going to be inside.
Dodgers with a chance for a big first inning against Lopez, who's ready for a 2-2 to Grandal. And he got him. Finally came over the inside half, and it froze Grandal for a big out number 2.
Well, you're looking for that fastball because you're thinking he's struggling right now. He's probably going to go to his strength, which is that fastball, and then he just freezes him with the breaking ball. And the Dodgers had him on the ropes, and sometimes it takes, that line drive out just to settle him down, going, okay, I finally got the one out. I can do this at this level, and he made a good pitch on Grandal there.
So Joc Pederson in his first at-bat since going on the disabled list in late June after crashing in the wall at Milwaukee and injuring that AC joint. You never want to put too much stock in the rehab numbers, but his were extra impressive. He was on base in 9 of his 12 plate appearances. And then traveled from Oklahoma City during the off day yesterday. Back in there tonight. Generous outside corner evens the count.
You don't want anybody to get hurt, and especially Joc, your starting center fielder. But listen to those rehab numbers. Maybe it started to calm his swing down a little bit, because that shoulder, when you're rehabbing it, you don't have quite as much confidence. And one of the #1 problems he has is the overswinging part of hitting. It might, this little slight injury right there might just calm him down and give him a new approach.
Second and third with 2 gone. Lopez home with a 1-1. Curls around the plate. Pederson jumps in front. You ever have an injury, Nomar, that affected you in a positive way?
In a positive way. Yeah. It's hard to find an injury that in the positive way. I don't think I've ever had one in a positive way, but I can understand what Orioles thinking there when he says, oh, it can calm you down and just relax.
Base hit into center. Kendrick and Turner both score on a 2-run single from Joc Pederson that makes it 3-0.
That's a huge at-bat by Joc Pederson. This was something that the Dodgers struggled with over in Arizona the last 2 games when they ended up losing. I mean, when they lost 2-1 to Arizona, they were 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position, and then the next day they were 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And we always say how big those 2-out RBIs are for a team to come up with, and that was huge right there by Joc Pederson.
So welcome back, Joc, with a 2-run single here in the first. 34th and 35th runs batted in this year. And it brings up Puig. He's one of the culprits in those missed opportunities with men in scoring position over the weekend. Laid in a fastball that hits 98, strike 1.
Well, he did it again, Nomar, today. He had an amazing batting practice.
Yasiel Puig was driving the ball to center field. He hit 4 in a row. He actually to center field, and every swing was just down through the ball, driving it. It's beautiful. Sometimes he gets in the game, and he has a tendency to overswing.
Off of the handle and the short right. Long run for Trey Turner. He makes a basket catch to bring the side to a close. But the Dodgers strike for 3 in the first against Lopez. Chase Utley starts the game with a home run for only the 2nd time in his career. Then a 2-run single from Pederson, and it's 3-0. Dodgers in the top of the first inning has Dusty Baker's Nationals in a hole as they come to bat for the first time with this starting lineup brought to you by Honda. Ben Revere hits second for only the second time this season because Trey Turner, the rookie's moved into that leadoff spot. Last year's MVP Bryce Harper hits behind this year's leader right now for the MVP race, and Daniel Murphy. And down at the bottom, Espinoza and Lobaton in front of Lopez. All against Scott Kazmir, 32 years old out of Houston, making his 19th start of the year. Dodgers have won 4 consecutive games in which he started.
He had a rough one against San Diego, but the Dodgers came back and won that one. When he was removed, the score was 8-3. He'd only gone 3 innings. He's been on this hot streak. Other than that blemish right there, he's throwing more and more quality changeups. They're not pushing out of his hand. He's got good depth to it. And with that and his fastball command, he's been outstanding.
And you see the run support that he's had. It's been impressive. And the other thing that he's noticed is the first inning always seems to give him trouble too. And once again, he finds himself with that run support, has 3 runs this inning, and even to the point where he is going to his bullpen and acting like that's his first inning in the bullpen to kind of get it out of the way and then get going. And they're off to a good start.
He gets Turner swinging for the first out. And it brings up Ben Revere. That .418 average you see against the Dodgers is the #1 average of any player active right now against LA. Kazmir home with the first one for strike 1. First season in Washington for Revere. And got off to a rough start with an injury on opening day. Pulled his oblique on his very first swing. So had to go on the disabled list, spent a month there. He really started his season for all intents and purposes in May when everybody else had a month under their belt. And a career .295 hitter checks in tonight at just .222. Kazmir's 1-1. Revere hits it on the ground to short for Chris Taylor. 2 gone.
Well, let's have a look at the Dodgers defense that's brought to you by Clamato. We have Jock Peterson back there in center field. We have Yasiel Puig in right, Howie Kendrick in left. You got Taylor, Utley, Gonzalez, Turner, and Grandal rounding out the the infield. And you can see the Dodgers ranking 2nd in the NL with that fielding percentage, just behind the Washington Nationals.
Good to have Peterson back there in center. Some stability to that position. They had 3 different players play center in the Diamondback series over the weekend. Well, 2 up and 2 down, and here's Murphy, who injured his hamstring during the All-Star game, and so only had 1 at-bat over the weekend in the series against Pittsburgh, but it was a big one. A pinch hit, game-tying home run in the 9th inning Sunday. That tied the game at 1. They'd play 9 more innings before they lost in 18. They matched the longest game in franchise history with a postseason game against San Francisco a couple of years back that went 18 as well. Kazmir's 1-1. 2 balls and a strike on Murphy.
Daniel Murphy, the best batting average in all of baseball, .350. Jose Altuve right behind him in the high 240s. Most amazing thing about him is not only that he has stayed hot and the average is up, but the power continues to increase.
Misses everything, and it's 3-1.
Pitch came with sound effects.
Yeah, it did. It's one thing you recognize it's coming at you, and he just kind of screamed and was like,
Scott Kazmir doesn't throw his curveball very often, but people are only hitting 125 off it. This would be a pretty good time for a hook.
3-1. Came in the hands, a little bloop shot down the line that'll sink in for a base hit. Murphy's got a 2-out double.
That's when you know you're swinging the bat well. Balls like that falling in for doubles.
Change up, and it was a good pitch. Had him diving out, came in on his hands. Can't do anything about it. If you're Scott Kazmir, you just pitch your way around a 2-out double that should have been an out.
You jam him, he doesn't square it up. Just goes over the head of Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian, you feel helpless as an infielder because you see the ball and you're like, I have no chance of catching that ball.
We're going to see if that evens up today. We're going to see if he has any line outs.
Hey, Adrian already has one.
So it keeps the inning alive for Harper. The youngest unanimous MVP in Major League history last year, 22 years old. But he has not had the same kind of year this time around. Got off to a similar start this year. It was the National League Player of the Month in April. But since April 27th, out of 153 qualified hitters, his average ranks 145th. Kazmir look at Murphy. And a 1-0 to Harper.
This game's hard. I mean, it's just you're going to go into slumps. You're going to go into struggles. That's what you always hear guys who have played at this level and talk about it. About adjustments. He has an incredible year. You talked about being an MVP, and you respect the game so much. Bryce Harper respects this game so much, and he knows as good as it can be, it can turn on a dime. Right now, he's just fighting it to try to find it again.
Waits on this 2-0 and pops it up. Justin Turner into foul ground. And the inning is over. So Kazmir able to get Harper and strand the 2-out double from Murphy. After one with Dodgers fans in the house, 3-0 LA. About 40% Dodger fans in Arizona over the weekend, and plenty of blue here at Nationals Park tonight. Enjoyed the first inning where Chase Utley hit a leadoff homer. Jock Peterson had a 2-out, 2-run single. 8-9-1 come up against Reynaldo Lopez here in the second. So Chris Taylor, fresh off that monster series against Arizona, where he finished a single short of the cycle on Friday night. Knocked in 6 runs in that game. Swings at the first offering and lashes a liner into the gap in right center. Taylor's on his way to second with a leadoff double.
You know, Nomar, you made an interesting point to me in batting practice about the way he holds the bat, and I was worried he might have a little bit of a long swing at times because of a wrap.
You see how his high hands there, but when he slightly brings them down, but he actually takes them from there to the ball, as compared to maybe casting out or really kind of coming around where you have a tendency to drop the barrel or that front shoulder flies out, which causes the barrel to drop. He didn't do that, especially even on that pitch with the fastball, taking his hands and the barrel to the ball to drive it the other way.
Kazmir up there in a bunt situation. Takes a ball. A throw behind Taylor, who's back in there safely. You know, it's no wonder that he finished a single short of the cycle Friday night. He now has 9 hits with the Dodgers, 5 for extra bases, including that grand slam on Friday. He was the first player in Los Angeles Dodgers history to have his first home run be a grand slam. Happened 4 times in Brooklyn, last in 1956 from Chico Fernandez. Kazmir lays it down, and Lobaton goes to first. So a successful sacrifice moves Taylor to third.
Time now for our top tier play, brought to you by Arco. Chase Utley greets Ronaldo Lopez to the big leagues with this swing, and he clears the right field wall and puts the Dodgers on top early.
And back up there in an RBI situation here in the second. Major league debut for Lopez, and a rude greeting by the Dodgers. It's a really good article today on Chase Utley from Bill Plunkett in the OC Register that talked about this being a bounce back season for him and why the Dodgers invested in him this season despite the down year last year. Infield in against him for this 1-0. The front office saw several indications that this would be a bounce back season, that a lot of his hard hit rates and such, line drive rates, were where they were supposed to be and usually would lead to a 280 average or so, and that his down numbers looked like numbers that should come up. There was that, and then there was the intangible piece, which we all know Chase brings.
Well, and then also you're going into an offseason where he's actually healthy. They knew how his health was at the end of the season, but to go into an offseason healthy, to be able to train the way you want to, is also critical. And then what he just means, that leadership in the clubhouse.
Waits on a 2-0. Swings in front of a change, 2-1. Corey Seager was quoted in that article as saying 100% being around Chase Utley for his rookie season will impact him across his major league career. He's learned a ton from the 37-year-old veteran. Here's the 2-1, and it's 3-1.
We hear a lot of people around baseball talk about when you make a team, you'd like to have that mix of veterans and young guys, or rookies, or if you have rookies you want to bring up, that hopefully you have a veteran club to nurture them and teach them along the way. And Corey Seager, as it says, has a few of those guys on this team.
Utley rips another base hit to right. Taylor's in from third, and Utley's knocked in 2 over the first 2 innings of this game.
Ronaldo Lopez had success in the 2-0 count with the changeup, but the veteran catches him because he knows he's been struggling out there on the mound. He knows he had a home run on a fastball. Oh, success on the changeup. Maybe I'll slow down a little bit, and he'll probably come back with that sooner or later. He did, and Chase was right on it.
So man at first with 1 gone, and here's Howie Kendrick, who singled his first time and came in to score. Strike 1. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
Guys, I asked Chase Utley earlier today who has the advantage, the pitcher or the position player, when you've never faced one another. He said, you know what, that's actually kind of a good question, because I think with this guy in particular, obviously being his debut, you don't necessarily have any major league video on him. You hope that there's video at all from his minor league stuff. He said, really, the first time through the order, I'd say advantage pitcher. After that, advantage hitter.
All right, Alana, 0-2 on Kendrick. Extended his hitting streak to 11 games in that first inning single. #1 hitter in the majors in this month of July. Lopez ready to deal an 0-2. Kendrick grounds it left side, base hit. His second hit of the day. The Dodgers have those 4 runs off 7 hits against Lopez over the first 1 1/3.
Howie Kendrick getting a breaking ball that he had to reach for, but Howie Kendrick's approach, as we talked about him going the other way, the way he stays on the ball, allows him, even if his timing is off, even if he's out in front a little bit, he still has enough to get on it and get it through the infield and find that hole. You have a consistent approach, and not your timing isn't going to be perfect every time. The more consistent you are with your approach, the more margin for error you have.
Well, it was a bit of a surprise that they went with Lopez to start this game. It's with Joe Ross on the disabled list, but it's with Lucas Giolito, who's their top prospect, having struggled in his 2 major league outings. And so he's staying in the minors to refine some things, and that's why they gave Lopez the chance. Here's Turner. Doubled and scored his first time. Top 3 in the Dodgers order are combined 5 for 5, with 3 runs scored and 2 driven in. One and one.
As mentally adept as Justin Turner is at breaking down a pitcher, I got to feel like he's going to hit the ball hard in this at bat. He has seen this young man face the lineup and then a few more hitters. He knows what he has. He knows the velocities. He's already hit him hard. Is yet to throw a strike away to a right-handed hitter or into a lefty for a strike. Nothing. Everything is hard and into righties or away to lefties.
Here's his 2-1. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, 2-2.
That's the equalizer. If he can throw that breaking ball for a strike, he's got a chance. You saw how out in front Justin was. Probably cheating inside a little bit, knowing that's the only thing he can throw is that hard fastball in.
Ollie at second. Kendrick at first. And Lopez to Turner with a 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 over the outer half. And with a changeup to get Turner. 2 gone. So it's up to Gonzalez, who hit it strongly his first time, but right at the shortstop Espinosa, who is positioned behind second. Cracks one to second this time. Trey Turner picks it and throws him out. And the Dodgers get one more on a base hit from Chase Utley. And after 1.5, 4-0. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and a good start to this series for the Dodgers. A 4-0 lead as we welcome you inside our broadcast booth here in D.C., and we welcome you back. Good to have you, Nomar.
Well, you know, I wasn't that far. I was just only like a booth over from you guys.
Right.
But it's good to see you guys.
You were visiting
Really.
Charlie on his birthday.
I was. I mean, Charlie, you know, you got to celebrate his birthday. We did. We talked. We chatted. We saw a good baseball. Well,
Rick Monday's back over there with him now.
yeah,
so
maybe
we
not a
get
good baseball game. Wanted to
more
see
here.
a victory over there with the Dodgers last couple of days. But hey, it's good to be here.
It's good to have you back, and it's good to have a lead for Scott Kazmir. As Jason Worth comes up, former Dodger, those 2 seasons in 04 and 05. 2005 season during spring training, he suffered a broken wrist with the Dodgers, and that's something that's lingered over his entire career. Still was able to play 100 games that year, but had surgery the following offseason. Missed all of 2006. Missed half of 2012 with another broken wrist. And then last year was limited to just 88 games because of yet another broken wrist. Those numbers against Kazmir career, though, 7 of 10 with a home run. Here's the 0-2. And he got him. Kazmir's second strikeout, 1 away in the second.
Fastball up. Be looking for the changeup, but no, he gets the heater. And at 91, we're watching a youngster on the other side throw 97, 98 miles an hour with a changeup. As long as you're changing speeds, but Scott Kazmir is hitting his spots.
Clint Robinson now is starting at first base recently. Ryan Zimmerman is on the shelf. Strike 1. It's another former Dodger, although Robinson's time in a Dodger uniform was much shorter. 9 games as a pinch hitter 2 years ago. In fact, had his very first career hit in a Dodger uniform. And he's got a base hit here. Peterson cuts it off and holds Robinson to a 1-out single.
There's a lot of ties between the Dodgers and the Nationals here. About Clint Robinson doing a good job here on this ball, just staying inside, going the other way. Yeah, Clint Robinson. Chris Heisey, who also played for the Dodgers. Jason Worth, as you mentioned. Stan Kasten served as the president for 5 seasons here for the Nationals. Davey Lopes, first base coach. Dusty Baker. So we all know what they did for the Dodgers. How about Vince Scully? Began his broadcasting career out here in D.C. for WTOP Radio.
Sent his resume all over the place. Couldn't get a bite. Finally got one here in D.C. and came for a short period of time before he went back to New York. Caught the attention of one Red Barber. Danny Espinosa looks at strike 1. Espinosa having a nice season in a year where a lot of people were calling for his job before the year even began, with Trey Turner, who's starting at second tonight, the top positional prospect in this system. He's a shortstop by trade, and Espinosa had several below average years in a row coming into this year. But just when it looked like Turner's time was coming, Espinosa has gone off. Number 1 in the majors in homers since late May.
Espinosa, they always said, was actually a better shortstop as far as than he was a second baseman. He played second base, but he was over there because they had Ian Desmond here for so long. Ian Desmond, as you mentioned earlier, Oral, is now at Texas Rangers, so Danny was able to move over to his more natural position, or at least one where he feels most comfortable.
He said that's impacted his entire game, not just defensively, but he's more calmed at the plate too.
And it does have a factor, because when you just know from the game, like the game has a feel. We always talk about feel in this game. You feel at the plate, but when you feel comfortable in your position, you're not thinking so much. It carries over to the rest of your game.
Quinn Wolcott down at first as he offered.
I remember when I was playing for the Dodgers, I moved over to first base. And there was a couple of weeks, we have to look to see if he did go. There was a couple of weeks where Fakal was under the L, and I played shortstop for a couple of weeks. And just the feeling and the thought of like, wow, I don't have to think. I felt like just alive, and I was like, wow, this is great. And then even at the plate, it just felt like, okay, I'm just back to what I'm so used to doing for so long. You know, whether it translated to the plate or not, I don't know, but I'm just saying how I felt. I don't know if the numbers necessarily improved, but I just felt better.
Kazmir's 1-2, and Espinoza looks at strike 3. The third punch out for Scott Kazmir. And the second out here in the second.
Yeah, Jason worked the swing through an up and away fastball, probably looking for changeup, and this fastball right there on the outer half gets Espinoza looking at it.
So Kazmir with a much better start to this one than he had his last time out, where he lasted only 3 innings against San Diego in his final outing before the break. Dodgers catch a break in this one, and that the all-star catcher Wilson Ramos caught all 18 innings on Sunday, and so Jose Lobaton gets the start behind the plate. Yeah, takes ball 1 from Kazmir.
We were hoping that game would just go on and on and on forever. Wear them out.
Five hours and 48 minutes total time of that game. Bullpen is really good, really on both sides. It's 1-1 into extras, and nobody scored until Marte's home run in the 18th. And of course, the topic around town here with Marte's homer is that the pitcher John Neese was on deck, and Pittsburgh was without any position players left on the bench. Dusty Baker's taking heat for not walking Marte to face Neese, taking heat and taking the blame.
Yeah, Dusty Baker said it was my fault. He says, I knew he goes, I was aware of the situation. He goes, I did not get the fingers up fast enough to walk him, and it was the very first pitch that he ended up hitting for a home run.
Right. Here's a 2-1 to Lobaton. Bounce to second. Utley's got it from his backside. Feeds Taylor to get the out at second. Chase Utley's got a homer. He's got an RBI single, and now he's got a nice defensive play to finish this second inning with the Dodgers in front 4-0.
RBI single in the second and a nice defensive play to end the second. Chase Utley is the Dodgers 2016 recipient of the Heart and Hustle Award, and it's certainly not an award that Chase Utley isn't familiar with. In fact, he's won it several times before, 7 times during the course of his career, including his last year with the Phillies. Heart and Hustle Award is a nice one, given by the MLB Players Alumni Association. Honors active players who demonstrate a passion for the game and best embody the values, spirit, and traditions of the game. And guys, it's voted on by former players, and you three were just talking about earlier, kind of a resurgence of his career for Chase Utley. A national award winner will be announced on November 15th.
All right, Alana, Yasmani Grandal leads off the third and takes ball 1, and it's no surprise that he's a Dodgers winner.
He completely personifies heart and hustle. And also, in some ways, lack of emotion as far as celebrating or being disappointed in what just happened on the field with him or his team. He is so locked into being the best the very next moment.
I think a lot of times lack of emotion can have a negative connotation to it, but when you're talking about lack of emotion with him, you're talking about a steadiness.
Yep. Consistency and a steadiness of approach. You could tell that he has broke down the situation about what he's going to encounter. Just the little things that you see him do on the base paths, or what you watch him do defensively.
And those little things, and I've seen them where, let's say there's a man on second base, for example, and right before the pitch is thrown, he'll go just to see if he can get a jab step from the runner close. So maybe there's a close play at home, but he knew he got that 1 step left.
Lopez, who struck out Grandal both times up for him, 1 gone in the third. Utley last year had his worst offensive season of his career. He had that right ankle injury that he suffered prior to the season. That lingered throughout. He missed a couple of months trying to rehab from it and felt better when he came back, but the numbers just didn't quite show up. Good to see him rebound this year in his age 37 season. Joc Pederson knocked in 2 in his first at bat off of the DL his first time. Takes ball 1. Pederson pops up an elevated pitch that will reach the seats. 1-1. Went on the DL in late June after crashing into the wall, making that play in center field in Milwaukee. And with Trace Thompson also on the disabled list, this is a really nice piece to get back. That outfield, especially in center, was in a state of flux. And Scott Van Slyke and Yasiel Puig both make starts out there in Arizona. Their first starts there in 2 years. Lopez home with a 2-1. Drops in 2-2. Reynaldo Lopez, his major league debut out of the Dominican Republic. He signed for only $17,000 when he was 18 years old in 2012, which is really low when you consider the prospect rankings that this guy's risen to. And he gets Pederson swinging for out number 2.
Well, Dodger fans, go to Dodger Stadium and celebrate Japan Night on Tuesday, July 26th, when the Dodgers meet the Rays. The first 40,000 fans will receive a bobblehead featuring Kenta Maeda, courtesy of San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Arrive early for special pregame performances. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Puig fouls off the first one, strike one. So Lopez, his first 2 seasons after he was signed, pitched in only 7 games. He dealt with arm soreness for those 2 years. He was diagnosed as bone weakness. His first healthy season was in 2014. He was dominant at the low A level. Well, last year took a step back in high A. It was just an average pitcher. Just jumped back onto the scene here in 2016 and exploded onto some radars in that Futures game performance, which happens to be the last time that he pitched last Sunday in San Diego. 1-2-3 inning where he touched 100 on the radar gun.
A little adrenaline pitching in the Futures game.
Comes a 1-2 to Puig. And he strikes out the side in the 3rd. Reynaldo Lopez, who had a tough first inning to his big league career, has settled in, striking out 4 of the last 5.
Cold hard facts, the lowest team ERAs in the National League. You see the Nats up there on top. The Dodgers aren't far behind in 4th. Taking a look at the bullpen breakdown, you put the Dodgers back on top. This Nats rotation is pretty strong. We're going to miss Max Scherzer, but we're going to get Steven Strasburg in Game 3.
It'll be Gio Gonzalez in Game 2 tomorrow. #2 rotation in the majors behind the Cubs. Reynaldo Lopez first big league at bat is behind Kazmir 0-1. Strasburg 13-0 with a .290 and has signed that 7-year $175 million extension this season. It's on the heels of Scherzer's deal a couple of years ago, 7 years $210 million. Scherzer had an ERA above 4 over the first 2 months of the season. But in June and July, a 1.61. So you said it. Dodgers catching a break, not seeing it. Kazmir makes quick work of Lopez for the first out.
When you see that ERA from Max Scherzer, you knew that wasn't going to be there very long. I mean, he is so dynamic on the hill. Explosive fastball, the movement. There's some deception to his windup. And early in his career, he was a thrower, what you would categorize as a thrower, right? And then he learned how to pitch, and he always had amazing stuff.
Back to the top, Trey Turner, strike 1. And the 20 strike. Oh my goodness! Adrian Gonzalez just went over to the sidewall and caught it. Oh my gosh, I'd totally given up on it. And Gonzalez goes over and makes the play.
You giving up on it, and good thing Adrian to give up on it. His eyes were locked in the entire time, avoided the fans as we have a look at a Morongo slow-mo cam. That might be another promo we can put, maybe another, like the good hands play. That was a good one.
You should stick with this job. Leave the sales department.
Okay,
to the
just
sales.
throwing it out there. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
stay right
I
here.
don't know. Ben Revere takes strike one.
I thought you were going tongue-in-cheek on something about Joe giving up. With the Joe give up on it. I gave up on it too, Joe.
I don't think anybody would want to sponsor that.
We were up here in the crow's nest, though.
No excuses. 1-1 on Revere.
I don't know if a camera shot can get a shot of us from our center field camera or wherever, how far up this press box is here.
What's very rare when
Could find us with a telescope.
What's very rare when the batter can hit a towering pop fly and you're above it.
Yeah,
that's true. We haven't had one ball go above.
You're above it. You get to see the top of it. You get to see its peak.
Here's bouncing ball to the middle for Taylor, who throws out Revere and finishes his 7-pitch inning. Check this out, and this is not an excuse for missing that pop-up, but we are way up here. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. And by Carl's Jr., the California Classic Double Cheeseburger for just $2.49 at Carl's Jr. It's a few weeks back when the Nationals were at Dodger Stadium. Vin Scully with Bryce Harper and Dusty Baker. Vin called Bryce's debut in 2012. Of course, called those 8 seasons Dusty Baker played in a Dodger uniform. Went up to the booth to see Mr. Scully on that trip. Chris Taylor leads off this 4th inning and takes ball 1. Dusty Baker grew up in Southern California, grew up listening to Vin Scully. Says he can remember times when his dad would have him working out in the front yard, and the only saving grace was they had the radio sitting on the windowsill so he could listen to Dodger baseball.
There has been a parade of players and broadcasters go through Mr. Scully's booth at home, and it's been fun to see and an honor for him, I know, but it's an honor for everybody else to greet him.
Taylor goes to short. Espinoza, 1 out.
And one after another tells him how much of an impact they made on his life in some form or fashion.
For players, if you get to the big leagues, you go to certain stadiums and you're thinking about, oh, maybe like, for example, Fenway, I just want to touch the green wall. I want to touch the ivy in Chicago. Certain stadiums. when you come to Dodger Stadium, if you're going, can I get an opportunity to meet Vince Scully? It's, I mean, it's a special moment for players. I remember when I finally got to play at Dodger Stadium, when I was in the big leagues, the Red Sox came over. It was like, I get to go see Vince Scully and talk to him. I get to get interviewed him. I was so excited.
Well, they did 2 on Scott Kazmir. Rick Monday, the Dodgers radio analyst, grew up in Santa Monica. His parents told him that, I think it was his mom told him that she didn't consider him a big leaguer until Vince Scully said his name. One and two. Curls off of the inside edge, and it's 2-2. Major league debut for the 22-year-old. Facing a veteran in Scott Kazmir today. Brings him a 2-2. Kazmir hits it just wide of the bag at third. Dodgers got those 3 in the first against Lopez. 1 more in the second. But he's settled in. And his 2-2 pitch again. Buckles Kazmir's knees for strike 3. That is 6 strikeouts, and it's 7 in a row retired by Lopez.
We talked about coming into this game what he averaged down in the minor leagues, nearly 12 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. And you see that graphic right there. Really seems to have settled in.
Now to the part of the order, though, that has owned him. Top 3 in the Dodger order, including Chase Utley, a combined 5 of 6. Utley has a home run to start the game and an RBI single. Ball 1. When Utley was making his major league debut in 2003, Reynaldo Lopez was 9 years old back in the Dominican Republic. Chase now in his 14th season. Lopez in his very first night in the bigs. 1-2. Chase tried to lay down a bunt with that overshift on.
Lopez on the mound. He's settled down, got 7 in a row now. Front office of the Nationals. Coaching staff, they're looking for him to settle in. That's all they know he's giving up the runs. They just want him to settle in, and that's what he's doing.
here in the Dodgers with a 4-0 lead. There you see Chris Taylor manning the shortstop position. We've become so accustomed to seeing Corey Seager at short and in the 2-hole. However, Corey Seager came to the ballpark today with some sort of stomach bug. Dave Roberts said that after speaking with the medical staff and the training staff here, they thought it best for Corey Seager to go back to the hotel and get some rest and some fluids, and hopefully he'll be back in there tomorrow, guys.
All right, Alana, thanks for the update. Hopefully getting some nice room service right now, taking the game in and probably hating every minute of it. Strike one on Daniel Murphy.
When we got to the ballpark, we thought, oh, just a routine day off, kind of mimicking an all-star break, because he was so busy through the all-star break in the home run hitting contest, the game. Hopefully he recovers quickly.
Yeah, when you would look at it, you're going, okay, Sunday they had a day game. And granted, they got in late in D.C. because of losing the 3 hours going from the west to the east. But then you have a day off, and then you have another day. It's almost like that all-star break. And you'll see a lot of managers throughout the big leagues do that for the guys who actually did go to the all-star game.
2-1 on Murphy, who has totally reinvented himself as a hitter. Of course, Dodger fans remember his run through the postseason last year, where he hit 7 home runs in his postseason record, 6 consecutive games. Hit 1 off Greinke, hit 2 off Kershaw, then off Arrieta, then off Lester. And there were a lot of people that thought, well, this is not something that you want to take and sign to a long-term contract off of one nice run. But he's proven that it was more than just a flash in the pan in the postseason, and that this is the new him. Changed his stance, changed his approach. Off of the hands into right center. 4 fielders converging on it, and Chase Utley pulls it in as Taylor crumbles to the ground.
That's the one where it's right in the middle of no man's land. And we always say, well, somebody's got to call it. Well, it's not that easy. You don't call it unless you know you have it. And then you see Chase at the very end say, I got it, I got it. By then, I don't know if this is one where even possibly Chris Taylor could be calling it at the same time. So when you have 2 guys calling it at the same time, you don't hear the other one.
When the ball's up there and it's starting to come down and nobody's really taking charge because they're not sure they can catch it, do your ears shut down because you're concentrating on so hard of trying to catch the ball?
And your ears don't necessarily shut down, but you're in the back of your mind, you're going for it, and you just worry, is somebody else feeling the same way? How close are they? That's what's in your head, because nobody's calling. You're like hoping somebody would call it. And then there are times where if you don't hear anybody, you just call it, even though you may not know if you have it, but just so there's not a collision, that you just go, okay, I got it, just to take a chance.
An even lower comfort level with a guy at short that's not normally there.
And there are times, and I used to have this with my left fielder as a shortstop. I told him, I'm going for everything and I'll never call it. I'm waiting for you. If I don't hear you, I've got it. And if once you say I got it, I'll get out of your way. So that way we wouldn't call it at the same time. So when I was going for it, I knew it, and he didn't say anything. I was okay. I was safe.
Harper's popped up against Kazmir both times, and another opportunity for Taylor to take charge. That is not an easy play. Scaling the mound and making the catch.
Going up the mound, if you remember that you're getting close, you're picking your feet up, but coming down the mound. So you got to think about this as 2 different types of stride to run over this mound. You got to pick your feet up so you don't trip on the front side, and then coming down, you got to shorten your stride because you got to get your feet on the ground because the ground's moving away from you. So that's where you see he accelerated a little bit, hard to time it.
That was impressive. Did you notice that last peak at the mound? When the ball was up in the air, he knew he was getting close to the mound, so he took that one last peek. And even when you take the peak, your body going up the mound and coming down, it's a strange feeling.
It is.
To try to keep your balance and focus on the ball. That shows quite impressive athleticism.
Jason Worth looks at strike one.
What I was trying to get to on the other pop-up and this one too, is you're concentrating on the ball so much and he's concentrating on the mound. Like when I'm reading a book or I'm watching TV, really intently concentrate on something, my ears do shut down. My wife Dana tells me all the time I don't hear her.
think that's called selective hearing.
No, I'm
like,
serious.
you're
If you
gonna
are really concentrating on something, your ears have a tendency to shut down for a beat or 2 or 3 minutes.
I can't believe on TV.
I don't know if
he's
there's any
telling
other
Dana.
husbands out there that have had that happen to them.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of husbands who say that happens to them. And they're going to say, listen, it happens to Oral Hershiser. It happens to me too.
Yeah, that's
Honey,
gonna be
it's
their
not like I
excuse
wasn't
now.
listening.
I'm serious, though.
I was so intent on the movie or the book or whatever
When I was
doing.
on the mound, and it was a big moment, if a bomb went off next to me, you could not break my concentration.
Well,
because you're just locked in, and here we go. So I'm just thinking, does that same thing happen to a fielder when the ball's in the air and you're locked in and you're giving everything you can to catch the ball? Can your ears shut down in a way?
You know, I understand what you're saying, but when you know when you're doing it, when the ball's going up, you actually are listening because you know that you have to hear it as you're going for it. So I wouldn't use that one at home the way I couldn't. So the way you did.
You guys try.
Yeah. I'll let you know how that. Actually, I know how it's going to go if I try.
Worth down on strikes, and Scott Kazmir with a sharp 4 shutout innings. Jason Worth, who has owned him over the course of their previous matchups, has struck out both times tonight. Ball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's back. The Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. Our 30th president, Calvin Coolidge, presenting the MVP award. Walter Johnson, legendary pitcher here in Washington with the Senators. Second MVP that the Big Train won. Beautiful night here in D.C. with the Dodgers lead the Nationals 4-0. And Reynaldo Lopez, who has settled into this game, bounces one into Howie Kendrick for ball 1. Kendrick's 2 for 2. And has boosted the major's top average in this month of July with a start to this game.
Howie's the last one to reach off of Lopez.
Way back in the second inning. 8 straight retired by Lopez, who gave up a home run to Chase Utley, the very first batter of his major league career. Back home with a 2-1. 3 balls and a strike on Kendrick.
The young man has settled in. The 8 in a row, but you start to see him be able to throw more than just his fastball for a strike. Ball's got more movement, shows he's loosening up.
He walks Howie to begin this 5th inning. First free pass issued by Lopez, which is saying something when the reputation is he's a guy who can hit 100, who strikes out 12 per 9 innings. When you go 4+ without a walk, it's impressive.
You know, when Steven Strasburg first got to the big leagues, it was all a show about velocity. People were almost disappointed when he didn't strike somebody out. Now, this young man doesn't have that reputation coming to the big leagues, but Strasburg didn't become a consistent winner and a consistent pitcher until he backed off the velocity and thought a little bit more about location and changing speeds. And we've always said, and Nomar knows better than any of us up here in this booth, that a big leaguer can time a bullet. If it's near the middle of the plate, it doesn't matter if it's 100 miles an hour.
Justin Turner waits on this 1-0. Down the middle, but at 96, strike one.
They say the greater the velocity, the greater the margin for error for the pitcher. That's what it allows you. So the lower the velocity, the better your pitches have to be. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that they're not going to catch up to it. They will definitely make the adjustment really quick, big league hitters.
Two and one on Turner. Nice stop by Lobaton. In Strasburg's debut as a 21-year-old in 2010, he set a franchise record with 14 strikeouts in his very first game. This place was sold out. Sports Illustrated called it the most hyped pitching debut the game has ever seen. Even in his second start, which was an interleague game at Cleveland, they sold that ballpark out. Turner climbed the ladder, followed it back with Kendrick moving, and it's 2-2. Not only did they sell the ballpark out, they had a stand of Steven Strasburg merchandise that sold out in Cleveland.
Pretty amazing. You know, you think about Fernando Mania and what Fernando did, and he didn't do it with velocity. His patented pitch was the screwball, but Steven Strasburg came here with the reputation that he would immediately be Nolan Ryan.
First overall pick in 2009 out of San Diego State. Made that debut a year later. Hard to believe he's in his 7th major league season now. Lopez to Turner with a 2-2. And Justin yanks a base hit in the left. His second hit of the day. And 2 on for the Dodgers to begin this 5th against Lopez.
Well, we were talking about how well Justin Turner has been swinging the bat. The power's been there, and a lot of it has to do with, I think, the knee. Let's not forget he had that microfracture surgery over the offseason, and I think it was still kind of healing early in the season, and now I think it's feeling 100%, but it's his timing. And that hit right there with him, the timing on a breaking ball, still back. He's not out in front. He wasn't leaning, which I think was troubling them early in this season, but now everything is locked in and timing is perfect.
Gonzalez now takes strike one. Well, the top 3 in the Dodger order have terrorized Lopez. Gonzalez and Grandal at 4 and 5 have not reached yet.
Big inning for the Dodgers to get some more insurance only halfway through this game, and then a big inning for Lopez also, because to leave an impression on the Nats front office and coaching staff, maybe get another opportunity to stay in this rotation, not just fill in.
Now 1-1. Gonzalez takes outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
They're actually getting a lot of looks for Lopez to see how he handles, after giving up a home run, how he bounces back from that. After they put some runs up, how does he recover? Men in scoring position, how does he handle that?
It's not a balk. You can't fake the first unless you step off, and you can fake the second. You can fake the third. You got to step off. You got to disengage.
That ball scalded into left field for a base hit. Kendrick gets the wave, and the throw goes into third. Adrian Gonzalez is knocked in around with a single, and it's 5-0 Dodgers. So after he had sat down 8 in a row, the first 3 Dodgers reach here in the 5th.
You get the leadoff runner by Howie Kendrick to get on base for the base on balls, and then you get 2 really good at bats, one by Justin Turner, then Adrian Gonzalez. Definitely due for one, because after his first at bat where he just lined out right to the shortstop, right back up the middle, but runners in scoring position, and knew he really wanted that to knock those guys in, comes through here.
Let's check in with Alana Rizzo.
It's the first hit of the game for Adrian Gonzalez today here in the 5th, but over the weekend with his 2 hits during the weekend at Arizona, he tied and passed Vinny Castilla for the most hits by a Mexican major leaguer with 1,885. Of course, he now has 1,886. Gonzalez played for Mexico in the 2006, 9, and 14 World Baseball Classics. Of course, he also played for Team Mexico in his WBC qualifying games this past March during spring training. Congrats to Agon.
All right. Vinny Castilla had some time here in Washington in their first season after moving from Montreal. Most notably, though, with the Rockies. Strike 1 on Grandal. Grandal entered the game with the #2 OPS in the National League this month, but has struck out both times against Lopez. On 1-1, Grandal taps it foul. Matt Belisle starting to warm, part of this really talented Nationals bullpen. But a pen that had to throw 10 2/3 on Sunday in that 18-inning loss against Pittsburgh.
Dodgers started fast in Arizona, beating the Diamondbacks in the first game, and scored an awful lot of runs, and here we are to a fast start here. Just want this city to end up a little bit better than we did in Arizona. Dropped the second 2 in Arizona.
Grandal down on strikes for the 3rd time. And for Lopez, his 8th punch out over 4 1/3. Doc Peterson now. Strikeout victim his last time, but knocked in a pair with a single in the first. Peterson hoping for a better second half here this season. Over the top of a breaking ball, strike 1. Now, Lopez has gotten off to that rough start, like you mentioned. Dodgers with a quick start. I think he's shown since that 3-run first inning why the Nationals are so high on him.
He has thrown the ball very well since giving up those runs. The Utley home run had to be a shock to his system. The dreams of a big league career and how you want to start it out, that was not in any of his images. He has settled down. He's proven that he can throw the ball hard. He's proven that he can make it move and change speeds with the changeup. And I think the breaking ball is actually better than advertised when we got some scouting reports around the ballpark here that we heard the changeup is the 2nd best pitch and the breaking ball is still developing, but he can really spin it. Two on, 1 gone in the 5th.
And Lopez to Peterson with an 0-2. Jock lays off. Peterson made his debut against the Washington Nationals back in September of 2014. The opening day center fielder last year. All-star a season ago as Peterson. First rookie all-star for the Dodgers since Hideo Nomo back in 1995. And of course Corey Seager matched that feat this year. Here comes Lopez 1-2 and Peterson fouls it off.
Kind of taking that shoulder that he ran into the wall with to put him on the DL and kind of moving it around right there. I got to believe a changeup that you're fooled on, Nomar's got to put the most pressure on that front shoulder.
It's fooled on, well, when it's away, because all of a sudden you see it tailing away. Now there's like that extra reach for it. That extension is when you can feel it.
That's what he just had there on that last pitch. The shoulder joint has to stabilize all by itself. It doesn't have the weight and the balance of your whole body to keep it from vibrating.
That's the one. You see how it was tailing away. It started like it was going to be on the outer half and tailed farther away.
Time was called. I wouldn't have counted even if Espinosa had gotten Turner.
Just to return to that topic, you know, taking BP is one thing when the ball's coming in 70 miles an hour down the middle and you go, oh yeah, I'm feeling really good, really good. You don't ever tell your BP pitcher, hey, fool me on a few. Let me test my shoulder.
Right. You don't practice check swings either. You don't. The ones you don't practice and the ones that usually you feel, if there's like an injury maybe to your hand or your shoulder, whatever, maybe check swing, the swing and miss. You know, you're not going out. You know what? I'm going to practice the swinging and missing. Yeah. You're not doing that. You're fine when you're making contact. You're off the tee. You're making contact. And with BP, short touch, you're always making contact.
Of course, you don't know what that feels like, though. This one is.
I've swung and missed plenty of times. Yes, I do.
A lot less than everybody else.
Doesn't feel good. Say I liked it. I like it about the way it felt in the body and mentally how it felt to swing this.
Shattered your confidence.
Peterson's worked it full. Lopez back home. Got him. 78-mile-per-hour breaking ball. And a ninth strikeout of the game for the rookie.
This is considered a hanger, but because he throws 97, it's 19 miles an hour slower. So that little bit of break up in the strike zone still is enough to fool a hitter because he throws so hard. If that's a changeup that stays flat, it's on the barrel, it's 85. Now it's only, 8 mile an hour, 9 mile an hour, 10 mile an hour slower. The hitter kills it.
Here's Puig. His 100th pitch of the night comes after a look at second. Dodgers got 3 in the first. They got 1 in the second. They put the first 3 on here in the 5th and scored 1. But back-to-back Ks of Grandal and Peterson. Check swing on ball 1.
What do you tell Yasiel in the big situations like you had in Arizona where it just seemed like he was over trying?
You got to tell him that he really has to relax in this situation. He's got to believe it. He's got to believe that harder isn't always better. It's
so
even
good.
it's even if I'm telling kids back home, face a kid such as Lopez, who throws hard, 97. When you're going in the batter's box, a lot of people, I got to grip the bat tighter and I got to swing harder to catch up. And actually, it's the opposite. You want to relax. The more relaxed you are, the quicker your hands to catch up to it. So Yasiel really needs to battle himself to relax in big situations like that.
It's counterintuitive. The big situations you think, I got to be better. I'm going to really get into my stance. I'm going to really get into my shoulder turn. I'm going to really concentrate on my grip.
But if you talk to those who succeed in those moments, they always say, oh, I'm able to slow it down.
Exactly.
Jake Lamb of Arizona, who we saw succeed in those situations over the weekend. He even said that a year ago he was gripping the bat too hard. He was worried about failing in those situations. But he said as he's removed the fear of failing, he enjoys those situations now.
And you know, the guy standing on second base for the Dodgers, Justin Turner, says the pressure is on the pitcher, not on me. So he tells himself that to relax himself. Lopez
to Puig with a 2-2. And he lays off one that bounces. Count goes full. Runners will get a head start in a 5-0 game here in the 5th. Be the last batter Lopez faces. Puig back up the middle into center for a base hit. And man, does that have to feel good for his confidence. Turner's in to score on a 2-out single from Puig.
Menos es más. Less is more. Nice solid base hit. Didn't overswing. Brought Dusty Baker out of the dugout with this base hit on a fastball in. Gets himself free and easy, able to open up, but keep his balance, stay on the pitch, and drive it from where it came. Nice job, Yasiel.
Ellie Jansen loves it. That's going to do it for Lopez. Dodgers put 6 on it. Runners at the corners, his responsibility. Still a good hand for the DC fans.
Since 2013, don't miss this highly anticipated matchup beginning Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Don't wait. Buy your tickets today. Visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
And that'll do it for Reynaldo Lopez for today. Goes 4 2/3, giving up 10 hits and 6 earned runs. We talked about his ability to strike some batters out. He has 9 Ks with just 1 walk. Now they're going to be facing Matt Belisle.
Throw down to second as Puig took off, and he's in there safely.
Good job by Yasiel taking off early. First pitch, getting a great jump. That way Chris Taylor can take the pitch, get two men in scoring position.
Always an adventure to watch him slide. He slides so hard, runs so fast, and able there to grip the inside corner of the bag to stay on it.
His belt broke. Chris Woodward give him his belt.
Yep. Nice.
And did that go into the dugout, or did it become a souvenir? I didn't see down there what Woodward did with it. Be an interesting souvenir to come away from the park with. Look what I got, Puig's belt. Epilyle's in the game, replacing Reynaldo Lopez. Runners at second and third are his responsibility. Taylor's 1 for 2 today, and they're going to put him on to bring up Scott Kazmir. That's the one drawback of taking second for Puig. Said it makes this a pretty obvious situation to put Taylor on.
There's a couple of ways of thinking that. Is going, okay, do I let him hit for the RBI opportunity by staying on first, because you know they'll intentionally walk him, or do I allow it to turn the lineup over, which we know the top of the lineup's been successful. So you go and see how the Washington Nationals want to do it, where they want to put him on. Okay, now you get the lineup turned over, and you never know. Kazmir come through with a hit here.
So Kazmir with the bases loaded. And Lyle starts him with a big breaking ball for a strike. It's a pretty good hack there. 0-2.
Hitting a tick over 100. You think about big league pitchers, they pitch every 5th day, sometimes every 6th day. You bat 9th. Maybe a couple of times that you get up there, which is usually about 3 if you have a good outing. You're asked to bunt. So you're getting 1 at bat off a big league pitcher about once a week.
Lyle gets him to retire the side, but the Dodgers get 2 more. Gonzalez and Puig both knock in runs. All-Star games coming here to D.C. in a couple of seasons to Nationals Park.
Bottom of the 5th, Scott Kazmir so far has gone 4 innings and just allowed 2 hits, and you see that with the 5 strikeouts, and the key has been the fastball command, and the fastball command on the outer half going away, hitting the strike there. Once again, he'll be out there. There it is, gets the swing and the miss, staying out there, confident, pounding that zone. Another one away, and you'll see another swing and a miss, keeping the hitters off balance.
4 out of 5 Ks for him tonight have been on the fastball. That command is really good when mixes that with the changeup. We haven't really seen the curveball tonight, but Scott Kazmir has definitely been on his game, responding to the tough outing he had against San Diego.
And it's been an interesting contrast, not just in where they're at in their careers between Kazmir and Reynaldo Lopez, but a contrast in styles where Lopez has 10 strikeouts, also using the fastball effectively. He's doing it in the high 90s. You guys mentioned it in the first inning. Velocity means wider room for error. Scott Kazmir doesn't have that high 90s velocity, although he's still using that fastball effectively. He's delivered first pitch strike to 12 of the 14 batters that he's faced. So he stayed ahead. He's gotten those 5 Ks over the first 4 shutout innings. Robinson stands in, takes ball 1. So the strikeouts for Lopez, and it was 9 total. Those are the second most by a Washington Nationals pitcher in his debut, behind just Steven Strasburg, who we mentioned earlier, struck out a franchise record 14 in his debut. 1-1 on Robinson.
You have to think, I mean, it's pretty impressive because he went 4 2/3, Lopez. He got those 9 strikeouts.
So that's what, 9 of the 14 outs he recorded?
It sure is. And that's a good sign for the Nationals with him. You're getting big league hitters to swing and miss or take, but most of it's been on his changeup or his curveball where they swung and missed. What I really like about Scott Kazmir's outing was the ability here to go deeper in the game. You look at the pitch count at 50, that is well under control. Look at the fact that he's thrown mostly fastballs and changeups, so he hasn't really used the curveball or the slider yet, so he still has a weapon in his back pocket to use as a surprise as some of the effectiveness wears off because of fatigue maybe with the fastball. He can go to other pitches.
He's got his 6th strikeout of the night to lead off the 5th. Robinson sits down on a fastball to the outside corner.
We were just showing that right before this at bat, how coming out, how he's had that fastball command and on the outer half, and we showed it all to righties, and it hasn't been just the command on his arm side. You saw right there, he also has the command on his glove side.
Scott Kazmir, what a career it's been. What a roller coaster of a career it's been for the Houston native in his 12th season with his 6th big league team. Espinosa grounds it back to him. Kazmir bounces it over to first, and
he came down awkward.
Maybe checking his knee, I think. Looked like it was wrenched a little bit. Landing leg, like the right knee. Yep. You're going to want him to throw a few pitches from the mound. The landing leg, you can deal with a back leg that stiffens on you, or you really can't get into it, but you have to land on that front leg, and if you can't stabilize there, that vibration, awkwardness is going to go right up to your arm. That's the last thing you want to hurt. I'm very surprised that he's not going to take a practice pitch or two.
Well, it's a good sign that he feels like he can do that without a practice, though.
Yeah. Surprise.
Hopefully there was just something that just scared him a little bit.
So 2 up and 2 down, and Jose Lobaton taking ball 1.
Oh, that one didn't look like it bothered him.
Yeah, he tweaked something right there, or flinched.
Yep. Looks like he's really trying to battle through it.
See it on his face.
You watch the recoil after the land. You see he's not real thrilled about putting any weight into that leg. And you don't want to alter your mechanics.
High fly ball to deep left field. Back on it goes Kendrick at the wall, and it's gone. Third of the season for Lobaton, and it's a 6-1 game.
We talked about fastball command. We came back from break. The fastball's away to righties that he had been pinpoint with. Then he comes and gets Clint Robinson with an unbelievable fastball away. But here, after 2 pitches that you're not so sure his leg feels good, he just leaves it right down the middle. And Lobaton does not waste the mistake. He gets the Nats on the board.
And I've got to think, even if it's not bothering him every time he lands, because it has bothered him some, you're thinking about it in the middle of your delivery.
Yeah, that's what surprised me about not taking a couple pitches just to see what it feels like, so you know and can clear your mind so you can accelerate into your delivery. A little bit of a heartbeat before foot strike, when all of a sudden you're not sure, and so you don't completely accelerate. It's all about, I'm landed, oh, okay, now I can throw, and you just don't put the same effort into the pitch.
And Belisle hitting for himself here and taking strike 3, and another awkward finish to that delivery from Scott Kazmir. And the look on his face says it all in a 6-1 game. Dealing with something on that landing leg. As Washington on the board at 6-1, we go to the 6th. Right now, the bigger news than the score is Scott Kazmir clearly in some pain last inning on that landing leg after fielding a bouncing ball back to the mound hit by Danny Espinosa, but battled through whatever he was feeling in order to finish the 5th and put himself in position for a much-deserved win. Top of the Dodger order, Chase Utley having a great night. Matt Belisle's first one is in there for a strike.
We saw at the end of that last inning, Scott Kazmir, he didn't even go to the bench. He just went straight down in the tunnel. And we'll see if he's coming out of the tunnel.
Frustrated shout from him as he stepped down into the tunnel.
You go back to the top of the 5th with Yasiel Puig stealing second, and then the intentionally walk Chris Taylor. Scott Kazmir turning the lineup over, gets out of the way. So if he was going to hit, as we see Bob Guerin on the phone, probably down. They've made some determination, want to get some action in the bullpen. But there would be no time right now to treat or diagnose Scott Kazmir if they wouldn't have got him out of the way in the top of the 5th.
I hate to see it any time, but especially tonight, on a night where he was just cruising, looking as good as he has in a Dodger uniform.
Yeah, this is his best outing of the year. Pitch count stuff, location against a quality offense, and knowing you've got to pitch well, coming off of a couple losses in Arizona. It was the Scott Kazmir that the Dodgers signed. So many hurdles as far as injuries that the Dodgers had to overcome this year just to be within 5.5 of the Giants. The 7th best win total in all of baseball. And they have the most days on the big leagues of any team in the big leagues.
It really is, when you take a step back and consider everything they've gone through injury-wise. The fact that they're 10 games above 500 is pretty darn good. He grounds it to short. Espinosa throws him out. So it's disappointing anytime you see a player leave, but especially on the heels of the news, Alana Rizzo, that the Dodgers got today about Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, and you certainly don't want to hear that when it comes to Clayton Kershaw. Dave Roberts telling us earlier today, guys, that Clayton Kershaw didn't feel great, and that was his quote coming out of that simulated game that he threw in Los Angeles on Saturday. And for all intents and purposes, Clayton Kershaw is being effectively shut down until the pain in his back goes away. There was never a timetable for his return, certainly not one now. We do know this. We know that he's not going to be pitching in this series and likely not pitching for quite some time. As far as the rotation is concerned, naturally Scott Kazmir getting the start here, and then Hyunjin Ryu was supposed to start tomorrow. Of course, he's on the disabled list now with elbow tendinitis, and on Thursday it will be Julio Urias. He's getting the call up to pitch on Thursday. We don't know anything beyond that point.
All right, Alana. Yeah, so Norris moved up a day, and they can do that because of the off day yesterday. This will still be normal rest for Norris. And Urias back up to the big league club. He was in the minors tempering that pitch count, that innings count, working out of the bullpen, but back up to make the start in the series finale against Strasburg. Kendrick shoots one to second. Trey Turner throws him out.
It'll be great to see Julio again, but not in the circumstances that we are experiencing. But we saw an awful lot of good things from him, and Dodgers being very mindful of his innings and his workload, give him an extended rest here. I just hope the young man has digested what he learned when he was here and is ready to be more effective, because the tools are definitely there.
Lyle gets a swinging strike on Justin Turner.
I just went to my Major League Baseball disabled list tracker, and the Dodgers have spent a total of 1,142 days on the DL. The second most are the other Los Angeles team, the Angels, at 868.
So what was it? What was the first total?
19 players for 1,142 days, and the Angels have had 15 players for a total of 868 days. So
Not even close.
Almost 30%.
Turner, hard hit, base hit. Third of the day for Justin Turner.
If you put that in comparison with the San Francisco Giants, the Giants have had 12 players for 471 days.
And that's been part of their narrative, has been the injuries that they've had. And they've had a third of the DL days the Dodgers have.
Exactly. So no excuses. Let's still get the job done. But that is the situation they have dealt with, and have dealt with it very well.
19 players.
Yep.
One is the days, and sometimes because you have guys, and those days add up with guys maybe coming off season-ending surgeries and things of that nature. But it's the 19.
But we lead in players also.
Yep.
With the Rockies.
Gonzalez grounds out to first. Unfortunately, I bet you have that page bookmarked, don't you?
No, I know what to type in.
You know where to find it now.
Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better.
You're never going to believe this, but Scott Kazmir came back out of the dugout and warmed up, looked just fine doing it.
Yeah, there was not any hesitation. He put the weight on the landing leg, actually zeroed in on it at the landing to make sure, and there's no flinch or anything. It looks great.
Top of the Nationals order, Trey Turner taking ball 1.
That's a great picture right there, because you have Doc right next to the trainer. You got Sonny, everybody looking intently at Scott Kazmir.
Nathan Lucero is right between them. As a veteran like Kazmir, you earn the right to go back out. If you feel like that you've got what it takes. He's ahead of Turner 1 and 2.
It was interesting to hear Nomar describe that camera shot, because he said there's Doc, and I'm just thinking trainer.
No.
You know,
Doc and
no,
trainer.
that's Dave Roberts. That's his initials for Doc.
It's like a scene out of a movie, though, where everybody's dobbers down. We just did the Kershaw report, reported that Kazmir was leaving, and then here he comes. And here he comes, 1-2.
Or if you feel like you're locked in the way you were talking about, having the command, can that adrenaline or that feeling kind of overcome maybe something that might be ailing you or feeling?
Well, you know your mechanics are really good, so you haven't put the wear and tear on your body. But what we do notice since he tweaked it is a lot of the balls are up and a lot of the balls are closer to the middle. So there is some part of, you think about landing, like cracking a whip. The butt end of the whip is kind of your front leg, and so you go to crack the whip. If all of a sudden the butt end of that whip is unstable, you're not going to crack the whip quite as accurately.
Turner lunging and lifting to center for Peterson.
The other thing I've noticed this inning is that it seems like a vast majority of the pitches have been changeups. He's not accelerating into that front leg. He's out there pitching with some savvy right now.
Revere comes up. Dodgers in front 6-1 in the 6th.
We also made the point about how going through the lineup a couple of times, he wasn't showing more of the breaking ball. It was more fastball. He was getting out with the fastball command and then maybe occasional changeup, but didn't show much of that. His curveball, maybe now, third time through the lineup, that might come into play.
Regardless of whether he's feeling physically.
Well, I think
this is
that,
the
yeah, I think regardless of how he's feeling, but also the feeling may be a factor as well. May have, you know, put in his head, and that, well, I know I have that, so I still feel like I can, you know, throw that one too.
Here's just 1-0 to Ben Revere. It looked like more of a frustrated response than a pained response.
A little bit, maybe frustrated with himself, because, you know, once you have a little bit of a pain, you have to have the confidence to go back in there. So it might not feel bad, but you got to get away from the flinch.
2-1.
We've had a slow curveball here. We've had a change-up again. So he's trying to ease his way through this right now. And you know what? It's a great effort, because that bullpen has been overworked but very effective. And he knows if he can squeak a few more outs or a few more innings out of his leg, that it'll really help the team.
Fastball still at 93, so not quite be locating it, but still has his velocity on it. Only his 70th pitch of the night is a 3-1 to Ben Revere. And a bouncing ball to Adrian Gonzalez, who feeds Kazmir, stepping to the back.
He also didn't need that.
That was a big test.
Yeah, look at him.
You got to break off. Now lefty's got a longer run because you fall off towards third. That acceleration pushing over there, and you see the short choppy strides, and he doesn't want to just stop right away. He's going to ease into the brakes.
That was protection mode as he started running. That was, I'm trying to protect what's ailing me.
Not a fun guy to face when you're now feeling 100%. Daniel Murphy, the Major's leading hitter. Murphy's 1 for 2 against him. That's one of the 3 hits the Nationals have recorded. It's been one of Scott Kazmir's most impressive performances, and it's turned into his most gutsy performance. 1-1.
Well, it's a good example for youngsters and dads that are trying to coach their sons in pitching about the landing leg and how stable you need to be. So here it is, a little tweak of a big leaguer that had his perfect mechanics tonight, and all of a sudden that little tweak, you can see the control is completely different. You can examine your own mechanics and your own stability on your landing and know that's where a lot of your command comes from.
Trying to work a 1-2-3 inning after the injury. It's 1-2 to Murphy. Hit on the ground to first, and he'll do just that. Gonzalez takes it himself, and that's 6 innings for Scott Kazmir. Fighting through it tonight.
Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. You take a look since 2012. I almost showed my age there and put a 19 in front of the year. The Nationals and Dodgers, 2 of the best organizations in baseball. Those dreaded Cardinals up there on top. Either one of those 2 teams above the Dodgers get to the playoffs. Let's hope we knock them off and change those records, even though they were regular season records.
Here's Oliver Perez. 34-year-old veteran from Mexico. Facing Yasmani Grandal and missing with ball 1. He's in his 14th Major League season. He's with his 7th different Major League team. Mostly with the Mets and with the Pirates, but also stints across several National League West organizations. Padres, Diamondbacks, out in the American League West with Seattle. A year with Houston, and right now in his first year with the Nationals. Foul tip off a home plate umpire Mike DeMuro.
You know, Oliver Perez reminds me of Nomar from our generation and a little bit of mine. Darren Oliver, how he kind of reinvented himself as a reliever.
all pops up. At third, it's Murphy.
Oliver, that cutter that he had, just pound that in. Really, the confidence he had. But Oliver, you notice, and back home, he does too, is he really changes his windup and the timing of it. Is that last pitch kind of a Louis Tiant kind of windup.
Now Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Right.
Louis Johnny refers to it as the Louis Tiant.
Louis Tiant has become an inspiration instead of an example. Now the example is Johnny Cueto.
Perez, who debuted back in 2002 with the San Diego Padres, deals ball 1 to Jock Peterson. Pitch, but misses in, and it's 2-0. Well, Perez, out of Mexico, grew up watching Fernando Valenzuela and trying to mimic him, trying to mimic his delivery, turning, looking to the heavens, coiling to the plate. Not quite like that anymore, but as a kid, that's what he tried to do. 2 up and 2 down in the 7th.
Well, fans, get a Howie Kendrick bobblehead on Tuesday, August 9th, when the Dodgers play host to the Phillies. Kendrick bobbleheads will be available to the first 40,000 fans in attendance, courtesy of Farmer John. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Gotta say, you guys are really good at this promotions thing.
There's a lot of good ones. I mean, you got Kenta Maeda bobblehead,
right?
Howie Kendrick.
Here's Puig. Backdoor, strike 1.
Those are great collectibles bobbleheads. They really are.
Oral and I were talking about the Kendrick bobblehead the other day in Arizona. It really looks like Howie, too. Some of them aren't very good. His is spot on. Even has the leg kick going.
Sometimes it looks like they use the same head on different guys, like they had extra one of those heads, and they're like, let's put it on this guy.
I'm working hard to get a Dusty Baker one here in town. Manny, our director back for the pre and post game show back at Time Warner, is a relative of Dusty's and wanted me to pick one up, bring some home to the kids, so I hope they're not listening. It might have been a surprise.
Puig with a liner into center. It hangs up for Denard Span. Yeah, the Dodgers had a Dusty Baker bobblehead giveaway when the Nationals were in town at Dodger Stadium last month, and tonight happens to be the Nationals Dusty Baker bobblehead giveaway night. full moon in D.C. Dodgers in front of the Nationals 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. And good to see Scott Kazmir back out there. Looked like his night was going to be finished after 5. Tweaked that landing leg, fielding a ball. And as Bryce Harper grounding gently to second. And Harper's 0 for 3.
Nice play by Justin Turner to get the speedy Bryce Harper. And we talked about Scott Kazmir as having a phenomenal day on the mound, but get a little help from his defense. As we have a look at the Carl's cam, there's a fine play by Chase Utley sliding and feeding it to second base. Adrian Gonzalez on a pop-up in foul territory, keeping the focus. And Utley focusing on the ball while running into Chris Taylor. And this one, not an easy play to run over the mound by Taylor. That's what you do. You help your pitcher out who's throwing a fine game.
And Taylor making the start at short. If you're just joining us, Corey Seager came down with a stomach bug earlier today, and team sent him back to the hotel for this evening. Jason Worth looks at ball 1. A pair of veterans facing off. Worth, the oldest player on this roster, 37, in his 14th major league season now. Started his career with the Blue Jays back in 2002. Parts of 2 seasons there. Then the 2 years with the Dodgers. Missed a whole year with that wrist injury. And 4 years with the Phillies. And to the Nationals. He faced Scott Kazmir in the World Series in 2008 while he was a Philly, and Kazmir was with the Rays. And prior to tonight, had owned Kazmir in his career, but has struck out both times this evening.
Right about now, 6-1, bottom of the 7th. Scott Kazmir's going batter for batter. And it's really about no free passes and don't build an inning for him. 5-run lead is fun to pitch with, but you just got to stay aggressive with strikes.
On 2-2. A base hit to left center. And that will get all the way to the wall for Jason Worth. He stops at second with a 1-out double.
Breaking ball up has saved this pitch for a while. They're wanting to go low and away, kind of backdoor. Pulls it inside. Jason Worth pulls his hands in, gets the barrel on it, finds that gap.
Scott Kazmir knew it. Right when it was going toward home plate, he knew it, that he missed his spot. And he was just hoping that he was going to be able to get away with one, but he couldn't.
Still only 80 pitches into this outing, so a chance really to get deep and help this bullpen out. With 6 games in 6 days to finish this road trip. Robinson takes ball 1. Robinson, 31 years old, but didn't become a full-time big leaguer until last year. Played in 4 games with the team that drafted him, the Royals, in 2012. All of 2013 in the minors. 9 games with the Dodgers in 2014. And then his first opening day roster last year. Bounce back up the middle. There's Taylor. And a nice game at short.
Not only has Chris Taylor had a nice game at short, he has had a nice time since being a Dodger. He's come in off the bench and done the job. He's had an amazing game. With all those RBIs, 6 RBIs and a grand, he almost hit for the cycle. And you know what? That continued with that hot bat. That was not a fluke. He looks really good at the plate.
He was a single away from the cycle, and then he gets a start on Sunday, and he gets 2 hits, both singles.
Right. Runner at third with 2 gone. Here's Danny Espinosa. Southern California guy, played his college ball at Long Beach State. lot of highly touted guys out of there. He's one of them. It's a third-round pick, but blazed through the minors. And made a highly anticipated debut in 2010. It was a September call-up. Got off to a great start, but in between that great start and this great stretch this last month, a lot of disappointment for Danny Espinoza. There were people that wanted Trey Turner up here to begin this season. Even the people that didn't necessarily call for Turner more or less accepted that Turner would be the guy by this point of the year. But just when it was becoming time, Espinoza has taken off, forcing Turner to even practice in the outfield. 2-1. Pedro Baez. Three and one. Kazmir not away from going 7 innings for the first time since May 14th. The Dodgers 2 innings away from giving him a 5th consecutive win. Espinoza offers and the count is full.
3-1 changeup. A lot of confidence in that pitch right there. The Nationals backup catcher is on deck, so you're moving from 18 and 50 RBIs at the plate to 2 and 5 in the on deck circle.
Strikeout number 8 of the night for Scott Kazmir, who's through 7 innings for the first time since mid-May. Scott Kazmir getting some hands in the dugout, likely finished after 7 innings, giving up just the solo home run to Jose Lobaton.
Scott Kazmir was absolutely outstanding. You think about the news about Clayton Kershaw's setback. You think about Urias coming back up in the rotation, the 3rd game in this series, and him hopping on the mound and hurting his front leg, but sticking in there for 2 more innings. Outstanding work by Scott.
And now the Dodgers are going to have to face Blake Treinen. Blake Treinen can get a fastball up there near 100 miles an hour with some movement.
100. I can't imagine being able to have a tool like that.
Taylor bounces to Murphy at third. He throws it by Clint Robinson, and Taylor's on his way to second. Only the first start of the season for Murphy, and bounced that throw over there.
Yeah, his first start at third base, coming in charging this one. Had some time. He just threw it right in the dirt, and that was a tough hop. Look at that ball, almost hit Robinson in the face. And Robinson was looking for that to skip off the ground and possibly get a nice hop that he can possibly pick out of the dirt, but that just came right up on him.
Andrew Toles will bat for Scott Kazmir. What's going on, Alana?
It's Taylor and the opportunity as he gets over to third base, the opportunity that he had to hit for the cycle, just a single short of the cycle on that Friday game. And when you get 6 RBIs in a game, people tend to start paying attention. On Saturday during the pregame show, I looked up into the stands and there was a young lady that held a sign up that said, "I'm the only single you need." Chris Taylor's face turned about as beet red as the Nationals hats. He stuck around for a couple of moments, signed a couple of autographs, and then went into the Dodgers clubhouse. Of course, you may have 6 RBIs in a game, you're going to start getting proposals.
Wow. That was pretty good sign. Kudos to whoever had that for him. Like you said, he's really come up here for the Dodgers, made an impact. He's such a good guy.
Two balls and a strike on Toles.
When you came to the big leagues, you did really well and you were single. Did you have those kind of signs?
That was pretty, not one like that. That was pretty clever.
That was clever.
But then again, I don't know if I was close to a cycle the way he was either.
A 3-1 to Toles is inside, ball 4. So an error and a walk to 8 and 9 in the order, and they're at the corners against Treinen to begin this 8th. Brings up Chase Utley back at the top of the Dodger order.
Chase Utley doesn't worry about velocity. Treinen could make 95 to 100 miles an hour, but Chase turned around about 98 his first at bat. Off of Lopez, that home run.
Ball 1 to Utley. Well, Treinen, from a small town in Kansas, started his college career playing JUCO ball. He bounced between a couple of JUCOs over his first 2 seasons, and then decided he was ready to jump up a level. Went up to Division I, transferred into Arkansas. As Utley lines one into right center, that is a base hit, and he's got another run driven in. Taylor's in from third, and with a juggle in center, Toles takes third. Utley's knocked in his 3rd run of the night, and it's 7-1.
Two of the best defensive teams in baseball right here as we watch Chase Utley hit this ball into right center gap, but the Nationals are going to come up with a couple errors this inning to set the table for the Dodgers and score a tally with Chris Taylor, who shouldn't have been on because of the error at third base. But Bryce Harper juggles this one, clanks off the heel of his glove, and it'll be the 2nd E.
Allowing Toles to take third, so they're at the corners for Kendrick, who takes a strike. So anyways, Treinen transfers into Arkansas. He wanted to get his degree in landscape architecture and thought that he could walk onto the baseball team. He probably should have checked to realize that Arkansas didn't take walk-ons before he went there.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
Got there and realized it too late. They don't have tryouts. They don't take walk-ons. He went into the head coach's office, asked the secretary if he was around. She said, not today. Stayed, came back again, saw the coach walk by and said, wasn't that coach? And the secretary said no. He knew that it was the coach. Never did get an opportunity, though, at Arkansas.
Really?
He had to transfer again to South Dakota State, baseball powerhouse that it is.
That coach better not be asking Trinan for tickets.
Yeah, right.
He's going to get ignored also.
He was drafted in the 23rd round by the Marlins, but they declined to sign him when there were some irregularities in his MRI during his physical. 2-2 on Kendrick. So the A's signed him. Latched on there and has blossomed into one of the harder throwing relievers in the game.
You don't take walk-ons? Ever heard that? Not even just, I'm not saying you have to try out or have a try, but
yeah,
you just never know.
Right.
But how about walk-ins? Like barbershops take walk-ins. This kid walked in.
Kendrick in the air to right. Harper's under it. Tolles tacks from third and holds on. Up to second goes Utley, and they get him. Robinson cut it off and threw there to get him.
You know that, I'll tell you why Utley goes on that. Because he knows it was going to be a play at home. So he was going, okay, there's a run, and he assumed Tolles was going to go. And it's weird why Tolles stayed on this ball. Because especially the way Bryce Harper got that ball, caught it. It wasn't like he was perfectly behind and got the momentum going forward to make a good throw. So Utley saw him break. He saw Tolles break, so he breaks. So he can possibly get over there and not worry about it doesn't score, but Tolles stopped. So now Utley gets thrown out at second. I thought that was, with Tolles' speed, I thought that was easy for him to score.
And if Tolles, the other thing is not only protect him, but if Tolles gets thrown out at the plate, you still have 2 outs in man scoring position.
Exactly.
Chase is on second.
Exactly right. That's why he goes.
Probably seeing the effect of a guy in his first month in the majors, knowing who that is out there catching it, overthinking it some.
You know, it's, and then also you just, for Howie Kendrick, he's going, I did my job, I got the ball deep enough, sack fly, great, and now it's not.
And missing badly. 1 ball and 1 strike on Turner. The reason Trinan chose South Dakota State, by the way, is because they offered that landscape architecture degree that he went to Arkansas to get in the first place.
Did he have to walk on?
Nope, got a scholarship there. They had just moved up to Division I.
When they saw the 97 and said, we'll take you.
We'll take it, right?
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. He was just trying to say, hey, coach, listen, just put a gun on me one time.
What was the name of that school that he went to?
South Dakota State.
I wonder if they played Arkansas.
Yeah, right. He was not that
Give
hard
me
of
the
a
ball,
thrower.
coach.
Just
Trust me.
ball.
Let me pitch this game. Trust me.
In Arkansas's defense, he was only throwing high 80s at that point. So Turner tries to lay off. It does. 2-2.
Those are great stories because I think a lot of people at homes in their neighborhoods, and they think everybody's a first rounder, everybody's a top 5 rounder, everybody gets a signing bonus and big contracts. A lot of different paths to get here.
Or think you have to play D1.
Exactly that
No,
too. They will
just,
find you.
It's just play.
And you don't have to play in the area code games. You don't have to be an all-star.
Just go out there and get good grades so you can get in there. So you don't have to limit yourself. Go play at the next level. And just play.
Y'all don't have to play travel ball either, right?
Not all the time.
Not all the time. I never played travel ball.
Turner, it's a fly ball to center. Span runs back on it into the deepest part of the yard to end the inning. So the Dodgers get one more against the former South Dakota State Jackrabbit.
Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com.
Chris Hatcher comes in with a 7-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th in this series opener. Joe Davis, Nomar Garciaparra, Orel Hershiser, and Milano Rizzo. It's appearance number 37 for the right-hander.
Chris out there to get some work, get some confidence, get some outs so that he can protect the other bullpen pieces. The way bullpen functions is that everybody has their role, and if you do your role, everybody gets the right workload. So the key right here for Chris is to ease through the rest of this outing so that nobody else has to get up in the bullpen.
Jose Lobaton lead off the inning. He's accounted for the only Nationals run in this game with a solo homer against Kazmir. Strike one. Lobaton, a former Tampa Bay Ray. Hatcher home with an 0-1, and Lobaton looks at the pitch just off of the inside. Game 2 of this series, same time tomorrow night. And again, Bud Norris moving up to face Gio Gonzalez. The finale at 9:05 Thursday morning Pacific time. Julio Urias, Steven Strasburg.
Breakfast with the Dodgers.
Love it. Hope they don't put a bunch of stuff in the eggs. Plain eggs.
You are particular about your eggs. He's particular about a lot of stuff.
Thinking about the eggs
already. You're right.
Just thinking about back home. I mean, waking up, grab a bowl of cereal, and watch the Dodgers.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
We're getting a frying pan out with some eggs. And set up some eggs.
Do that too. It's a lot more work. Dodgers from there head on to St. Louis. Get in there Thursday night. Start a 3-game series with the Cardinals on Friday.
Big pitch here for Chris Hatcher. Cardinal sin is 1 pitch away or an out. Try and do it again. 7-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Leadoff hitter, 3-2 count. No free passes.
Walked it. He does walk Lobaton to start the 8th.
Well, we were just talking about it, and we're going to take a look at the 76 Dodgers calendar.
Eventually we will.
Well, we will eventually.
But now, how
you
about
can also
MLB.com?
you can stay connected all season long with the #1 app for live baseball at MLB.com.
Which we all love. Hard to go without that app, especially with the scoreboard watching.
Which I actually have on right now
You
as
do?
the game's going on. So it's a great app.
What do you like to use it for?
I like to get the summary of the game on the side. I see the pitch by pitch as well, which is helpful.
You ever click on, like Joe, and get the exit velocities? Or
Yeah, sometimes I do, because there's at the
Breaks.
bottom of it you get the feed, and then it can tell you, some of the balls that they hit, the exit velocity. But you get the box score, you can get the summary too when you want to go back. So there's a lot of options on that app.
There's Chris Heisey, spent some time with the Dodgers last year. Hatcher's ahead of him 0-2. So you typically stick with the game that you're covering. Some people like to have the at-bat app open to track games around the league while they're watching their game.
the other night, no hitter going?
Edwin Jackson, we had that pulled up.
Had Edwin Jackson watching live feed.
No, I focus on the game at hand.
I stay locked in, boys.
Okay. I get it. I think Charlie just called you.
7 innings for Scott Kazmir tonight. It's only the second time somebody other than Clayton Kershaw has gone 7 full innings for the Dodgers since Kazmir's 8 2/3 innings outing on May 14. Fifth Maeda did it with his great outing to finish the first half. Kazmir battles through what looked like some problems with his landing leg tonight to go 7 full himself.
Definitely a shot in the arm for the whole Dodger team. For Scott to go back out there and get 6 more outs with what really looked like not full body armor with the tweak of the right leg.
Catcher's 1-2. And Izzy fouls it off.
The hope of a team when they're down 7-1 in the 8th is building an inning, and the walk helped them. But what could really help the Dodgers right here and Chris Hatcher is to start getting some outs. Don't let any positive energy creep into that Nats dugout.
Base hit in the set.
I gotta believe there's gonna be some action in the Dodger bullpen. Can't let this spiral out of control, and then all of a sudden you bring Kenley Jansen in the 9th if the lead get close. Rick Honeycutt may be giving him a little time if he comes out here, get it going down there. The guy that's been almost perfect looks like he's getting up, Adam Libator.
Here comes Rick Honeycutt.
It's an interesting visit because Chris Hatcher knows you're coming. There's Monty Grandal going out there to talk to him, knows you're coming. He knows why he's out there. There's a couple of guys on, and it's a delay for the bullpen, but you got to go out there with an attitude that you're going to encourage and get him locked in and say, look, I don't want to have to go out there. You can do this.
Facing an offense that since June 1st has been number 2 in the National League in runs scored. And now he's facing the top of that lineup with Trey Turner. A late break of the runners. Grandal going to second, not in time.
Talking about Chris Hatcher going out there to settle him down, and you're thinking, okay, first and second, you're still in control. You can get a ground ball here. Trust your defense. Get a double play. Help yourself out. And then you get that wild pitch thrown in the dirt. Now you're just going, okay, if you're going to just give up one right here. Take the out. Give up a run for an out.
1-0. Turner hits a fly ball to right center. Peterson's on the run. Can't get there. Trey Turner drives in a pair. On his way to third. Here's the throw, and it's not in time. 2-run triple for Trey Turner in a 7-3 game.
The scoreboard has changed. A little nervous from watching Jock Peterson out there, just back tonight with his shoulder that he was on the DL for crashing into a wall. This one he's going to have to hit the warning track on this dive, use his arms and his shoulders to brace himself. You take a look at him as he bites the dust. A little slow getting up, but I think he was just taking inventory to make sure he was okay.
the rookie, with a triple, first one of his career. Top positional prospect in this system. And as Ben Revere looking over his shoulder some, because with Espinoza playing so well at short, they've had Turner start to work out in center. That's where Revere is. Dave Roberts coming to take it from Hatcher. Adam Liberatore coming in. Record 25 consecutive scoreless outings that earned run average the best in the majors.
I don't think there's a lot of Dodger fans that expected that out of Adam. Spent some time in AAA this year, and since he's been here, he has been nails. And he has really locked in with his mechanics, with his mentality, and his ability to just attack hitters. He's been unpredictable in his sequencing. He has been relentless in his approach.
And they go to Michael Taylor to bat for Ben Revere. Dusty Baker brings up the right-hander with Dave Roberts calling on the lefty. Good thing for Roberts and for Liberatore is that he's been just as good against right-handed hitters this year. Taylor had that game against the Dodgers on June 22nd, where not only did he go 0 for 5 with 5 Ks, but he had the 3-base error that allowed the winning run to score in the form of Yasiel Puig's Little League home run. All on. Runner at third is Hatcher's responsibility. Would not snap Liberatore's scoreless inning streak. He brings a 1-0, and Taylor swings through it. Strike one.
And on our open today, we went big picture on this road trip, and now we're getting into the tougher games against Washington and St. Louis. Kind of blew an opportunity to really catch the Giants. They get swept by San Diego. We only win 1 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks. Go big picture on this game. You cannot let the Nats come back and win this game. This would be a crushing defeat. Get the news on Clayton Kershaw and a setback on his rehab. You don't know how Scott Kazmir, after being a Warrior, pitching with a tweaked front leg, how he's going to come out of today. And you've got a big 7-1 lead going in the bottom of the 8th, and all of a sudden the Nats are off the deck.
Liberatore ready for a 1-2. Grandal setting inside, and Taylor swinging and missing for strike 3. Liberatore sits down the pinch hitter, handpicked to face him, 1 away.
Well, that's a good start for the Dodgers, for Adam Liberatore to get that strikeout right there in a key situation. Now he has to face a hot Daniel Murphy.
Two more parts of that whole scenario. You lose Casey Fien to the DL. You lose Ryu to the DL. Winning on the field can distract you from all the hurdles that you're going through.
Luis Avilan is here taking Fien's spot on the roster. Murphy hits a high drive to center. Peterson back on it at the wall, off of the very top of the wall. It's a double to score Turner. He misses a home run by inches.
Taking the best hitter in baseball as far as average right now, and Daniel Murphy to turn around an Adam Liberatore fastball, wanting to go low and away. This one leaks up. It's not low. He gets the barrel on it, and he crushes this ball to right center. Right where the fence looks like it goes up to the next level, this ball hits right on the edge there.
Murphy, he is just swinging the bat so well this year. I mean, it started last year. Remember in the postseason, 6 home runs,
6 post. Against some pretty good pitchers.
Yes.
Twice off of Clayton, Jake Arrieta, Zach Greinke, and John Lester. Yes.
Now it's Harper. The crowd senses the Nationals one swing from drawing to within 1. He's 0 for 3 tonight. 3 times soft contact against Scott Kazmir. Harper 19 home runs this season. 9 of those came in the first 3 weeks of the season. Baez loosening for the second time. Liberatore has come out of the blue to be dominant against the can't-miss Harper. The 1-0. Bounce to first. Gonzalez has it. He'll take it to the bag for out number 2. Harper 0 for 4. 3 for his last 26 now. And here's Jason Worth.
56-win team, these Nats. And 26 of those victories are come from behind. They are 19 games over 500. Only 37 losses for Dusty Baker's team.
Best record in the majors since June 26. They won 13 of 18. Liberatore to Worth with the first one. Strike 1. This 13-5 run for the Nationals comes on the heels of a 7-game losing streak that included the sweep in Los Angeles. So they lose 7 in a row, which was their longest skid in 7 years. And Dusty Baker's squad has rallied together at 13-8-6. Now the 0-1. Liberatore on for Hatcher. Walked Lobaton, gave up a single to Heisey and a triple to Turner. 1-1. Worth hits a line drive to left. Kendrick is under it, and he's got it to end the inning. The Nationals score 3 runs against the Dodger bullpen and have cut it to 7-4 as we go to the 9th.
Many amazing monuments here in our nation's capital. Coming up next, Access Sportsnet. Dodgers, John, Jerry, Kelly, and Ned get ready. This is brought to you by Nissan. Of course, we break this one down. A tremendous start from Scott Kazmir. We'll get an update on that landing leg. We'll also talk about the bullpen in this one as well. We'll hopefully be breaking down a win, gentlemen.
I hope so, Alana. Chris Heisey stays in the game and left. And Taylor goes to center after his pinch hit appearance. New on the mound is Sean Kelly for his 40th game. He had some time as the closer when Jonathan Papelbon was down with an injury. But back into a nice late innings role, and he's put up good numbers. Middle third of the LA order. Here's Gonzalez, and there's strike one. We were talking about A.J. Ellis and his college career at Austin Peay the other day, and how there only been a limited number of major leaguers out of there. Sean Kelly is one of them. Mariners drafted him out of there in 2007. Seasons with the Yankees, last year with the Padres. Grooves one to Gonzalez, who hammers it to right center, but Harper is there.
Big league scouts are going to find you anywhere. And even if you start out poorly at college or in high school, there's always a freshman coming onto your team that the scouts have to get a new report on. And they're going to see you if you turn it around. If you turn it around mid-season, if you turn it around and have a growth spurt between your sophomore and your junior year, and all of a sudden your fastball jumps up from 83 to 89, 90. You go from 87 to 92. That's not the only time they're going to see you. There's another group of people coming in behind you, and if you improve, you'll still get noticed.
Grandal, a much different path. He went to Miami, one of the baseball powerhouses. Kenley Jansen, a much different path than those two. Curacao as a catcher. Grandal, it's a towering drive to center, sending Taylor back on it at the wall, and that ball is gone. Yasmani Grandal crushes his 13th home run of the season to give the Dodgers some more insurance.
Big hit by Yasmani Grandal. We're talking about momentum in this game, getting the confidence to the Nationals. They got in that last inning, and he gets this ball. This looked like a slider that was kind of going down and away from him, and he stays on it to drive it right back up the middle, keeping his head down. The timing was perfect, and he got all of it.
Yeah, he got all of it. 102 mile an hour exit velocity on that one.
Now Jock Peterson hits a missile foul with a launch angle of 32 degrees, the optimal launch angle between 25 and 30 degrees. So all that tells you is what you saw. It was hit really high. The 2 on Jock.
It will be really interesting in about, where do you want to go? Let's go 15 years from now.
Yep.
If around the water cooler, around the coffee pot, around the adult beverage areas, what will be the vernacular? What will people describe? How will they describe hitters and how well they hit a ball, or pitchers and what they did, or a route and the speed that a guy tracked down a fly ball? Will that enter into the common words that are used to describe last night's game?
I know it already has some with the players. Peterson takes strike 3 for round number 2. I think there was a game in Arizona back in June where the Dodgers hit 4 home runs or something like that, and Justin Turner had remarked the following day that he was just happy that he had a better exit velocity than Peterson's home. And they're able to go up to the video room mid-game where they can check video of their at-bats. And John Pratt, the lead video man down there, has that information for them if they want to check what their exit velocity was. Puig gets a high fly ball to right center. And it's Taylor to pull it in and bring the top of the 9th to a close. Yasmani Grandal hits his 13th home run of the season. On to the bottom of the 9th. Dodgers up 8-4. Dodgers lead 8-4. As we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and in a non-save situation, Kenley Jansen comes in, perhaps trying to recapture confidence after blowing that save Saturday night.
Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. I'm not sure he needs to get his confidence back as much as he just wants to get the release point back on the cutter. He was having trouble locating that a little bit, but also has the slider and the 4-seamer. It's a rarity when we see Kenley have a rough outing or blow a save, and I know the whole team has confidence in him, the manager, pitching coach Rick Honeycutt, and I know himself. He hates to lose that game, but he also did not lose any confidence in his all-star abilities.
6, 7, and 8 due up for Dusty Baker's team. Dodgers jumped all over the Nationals in the first inning tonight. 3 runs. They got 1 in the second, 2 more in the 5th, and then single runs here in the 8th and 9th. Well, the Nationals got 1 in the 5th, and that's all against Kazmir. 3 against the bullpen in the 8th. Clint Robinson, 1 for 3. Strike 1.
An absolutely fantastic cutter right there, and especially when you can make it cut out there on the outside corner to a lefty. The easy one is into a lefty, and especially in and up.
Giants lost, by the way.
Great, that's 4 in a row.
4-0 to the Red Sox. And they're getting into the part of the schedule that we talked about over the weekend, guys. It is paying the piper for their easy month leading into the All-Star break.
At the beginning of the second half, or the unofficial second half after the All-Star break, they had 12 more games scheduled on with teams above 500 than the Dodgers. The strength of schedule favors the blue.
A nice cutter, 1-2. 28 of their next 34, starting with tonight, are against teams with 500 or better records coming out of the All-Star break, to your point.
These 2 teams we finish up this road trip with are both above 500, of course. Cardinals, I think, have 52 wins.
I don't think they have that many. I think it's 48, 47, 48, but it is the Cardinals, right? That one cuts in and hits Robinson.
Quick check of my MLB app has the Cardinals at 48 and 44.
Okay.
8 games behind the Cubs.
This goes back to the, you're playing some tough teams, and you got to win those series against the teams you're supposed to beat, which I think what makes over the weekend so tough for the Dodgers right now, especially when they had games in their hands.
They could easily swept the Diamondbacks.
Right. And so that one's going to be tough. So this is, once again, we were talking about at the beginning of today, how important to get off to a good start today and continue it through the rest of this road trip.
Danny Espinosa takes ball 1. If the Dodgers hold on to this, it'll be the first time since June 12th that they're closer than 5 games behind the Giants. They had drawn to within 3. That series in San Francisco in early June with the win on Friday night to open that series, and then lost in extras the next day. And at least 5 games back the entire time following the Sunday night loss to cap that series.
9 games left for the Giants.
Yep.
Head to head.
So if they can lock this down, it'll be 4.5. Jansen's 1-1. Nice cutter again, 1-2.
He has definitely found whatever he needed to find from the last outing to this outing on how to get the ball to cut again. Whatever mechanical tweak or whatever he's done, watch the late movement on this cut fastball right there at the end. That's so subtle and so late and so impossible for the eyes to pick up.
So 2-2 on Danny Espinosa. He hit Robinson, but has a 4-run cushion to work with. Here it comes. Runner takes off. Espinosa cranks one down the right field line, but it goes foul. He's hit more home runs than anybody in the majors since late May.
Going away, cutter away. Espinosa stays on it. Good fortune that he hooks it foul.
That ball cut right down the middle. And Espinosa's timing, he was just out in front just a little bit to pull it.
So a deep breath from Kenley and another 2-2 to Danny Espinosa. To second, runner was moving, so no chance at a double play, and Utley throws him out. Robinson to second. Same place, same time tomorrow night. 4:05 Pacific, 7:05 here in DC. Bud Norris on regular rest, but sliding up a day with Hyun-Jin Ryu going on the disabled list. Gio Gonzalez takes it for Washington, and he's been the one piece of that starting rotation that has not been really good this year. So the Dodgers catching a break with 2/3 of the pitchers that they'll face in this series not being studs, because this rotation is full of them. The only one they're going to face is Strasburg in the finale. They get a major league debut tonight. They get Gio Gonzalez tomorrow. And in Gonzalez's last 10 games, he's 2-7 with an ERA north of 7. Don't see Scherzer. Don't see Roark. Don't see Ross.
That's why it was really important to beat the rookie tonight, though, with Strasburg on the back end of this 3-game series. So if you go into that game 1-1 or 0-2, you don't want to face him and need a win for sure.
Lobaton on the ground to Utley, and 2 gone. Dodgers jumped on the rookie tonight for 3 in the first inning. Chase Utley hit a solo homer to start the game. They added 2 more in that first inning. Single runs in the second, the 8th, and the 9th. They had a 2 spot in the 5th. They got 7 great innings from Scott Kazmir. Heisey the last hope for the Nationals. Singleton scored his first time up. Been hitting in the pitcher's spot last inning.
A little different face on Kenley tonight. Even though it's a 4-run lead, he got right into his game face. He's not out there just getting some work. He's really out there reestablishing his presence as a big-time National League closer.
To Heisey. And he popped him up into center. Jock Peterson. In convincing fashion, the Dodgers take the opener from the Nationals. 8-4 the final. Scott Kazmir tremendous in this one to get the W. Chase Utley a great night offensively. And the Dodgers cruise back to 11 games above 500 and within 4.5 in the division. Time for our Lexus player of the game. Tough decision between Kazmir and Utley, but we'll give it to Utley.
Comes up with a big home run in the first inning. Got the offense started, especially against the rookie. And he got another RBI in the second. And then got his third back in the 8th. He's making some fine plays on the field. And also the winner of the Heart and Hustle Award for LA. So just an all-around